Cigar prop coverage of the 2025 PCA Convention and Trade Show is brought to you by Smoke Inn Cigars.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Kevin from Cigar Prop.
Oh, so enthusiastic. My God.
It's time out. We'll start over. All right.
But don't cut that part out. No, we're the. Come on, show some fucking enthusiasm.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Kevin from Cigar Prop. Here we are. Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, PCA 2025, New Orleans, Steve Saka.
That's Lee.
The man that always gets the most views out of anybody's videos.
And you know why that is? Why did I say stupid shit? Yeah, just know that if they hang out long enough, I'm going to say something and go,
Yeah, it's still early. It's 2 o'clock. I don't know.
ah, but dude, I've already been doing it since about 10 a.m.
Okay, I see the new Saka con. Oh my God, I love this.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
I've only seen pictures. I was wondering how tall it was gonna be.
I actually made prototypes in 3 different sizes because I wanted it to fit well with the Saka Squatch.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have it in balance. So.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. So it almost looks like a barber pole the way they're going on there.
2026, baby.
2026. We know your feelings on that, so we definitely won't go there. All right, so you got a lot of new releases coming out, a lot of media. Solita, I've been getting a lot of questions on Solita Red.
Yeah.
Is it regular production? Is it limited regular?
And it's just like Brulee Blue. Yeah. We're making it every month.
Yeah.
The thing is, so the problem is you have the 1 year of aging.
Yeah.
So what that means is for it to have 1 year of age before we box it, I have to pull the trigger on the production number about 16 months ahead. Okay. So we can be ready with the tobacco and know what we're going to do 2 months later.
Yeah.
So there's always a 16-month lag from when I say we're going to make this many Solita Reds this month to when it actually gets put in a box. So what ends up happening is it's limited by, it's not like our Mi Querida Ancho Largo. The sales are X. I can respond to that in less than 6 months' time.
Yeah.
I can't respond to Solita Red or Sober Mesa Brulee Blue or Paladin de Saka on that time frame because of that guarantee that you're going to get the cigar with a minimum of 1 year aging. So it's regular production, but it's limited by how much I thought I was supposed to make 16 months earlier. Now, I'm making a lot more Solita Reds out of the gate than I was making with Sober Mesa Brulee Blue. Because Sober Mesa Brulee Blue, it literally took me 3 years to kind of catch up with the demand. And I don't even know if I'm caught up now, but I know for the very first time, like last month, I actually had some blues in inventory at the end of the month, which has never happened.
Everywhere we go.
It never ever happened.
Nobody has.
So Solita Red, I started out of the gate making 4 times more Solita Red for the initial launch. Actually, it's not even true. The initial launch, I made closer to 6 times more. And then I'm making about 4 times more on a monthly basis. But I'm hoping that that'll mean that Solita Red won't be as out of stock and as long as the rest. Because look, I want everybody's money.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do. So that's kind of why it's kind of, we say limited, because so like Bronzeback's been out of stock at a lot of places, right? But Bronzeback is just me missing the number. Bronzeback is something that by the time we get to the middle of this summer, I think people that are like, oh, I can't find Bronzeback, they're going to be able to find Bronzeback. You know what I mean? I don't think it's based.
I stoked it. I liked it. I couldn't believe the demand for it. Yeah. I could not believe how
Nor could I.
It exploded.
Right. I had no, look, you're always taking guesses.
Yeah.
Right. And I try to make the best guess possible, but that's something that I can recover quicker on.
Yeah.
Right. Like Red Meat Lovers. I think I'm finally getting in the groove on Red Meat Lovers, that for the retailers that are doing well with the product, that I'm going to be able to get them the amount of Red Meat Lovers. They might be out of stock for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but it's not going to be this really long extended period. But those are products that are easier to respond to. Certain products aren't easier to respond to. And then you have other products that, like a true like limited is like You're the Duquette.
Yeah.
I only made so many.
Yeah.
It's a 1 year project. It's a 1 release project. I took a stab in the dark as to how many I made. I just totally fucked the duck on her. I had no idea how many You're the Duques I could sell.
Yeah.
Right, it's too late.
It's current.
So like, Yeah, but you say that, but think about this.
Yeah.
To those maybe 20 retailers that are really social media engaged,
Yeah.
who know who Chris is,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
But if you're a normal retailer, what the hell is a year of the Duke at, right? Or what, who's in there? Some dude in Hawaii? What?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what the demand was going to be. So like, we're going to do a year of next year. So like, we're not taking orders on it at the trade show, but what we're asking the retailers to say to us is, yeah, I'm really interested in the next year of, and I think I'd like 15 boxes. I think I'd like 22 boxes. I think I'd like 6 boxes so I can prepare better. I'm not asking them to put money on the table. I'll take the risk, but if I have some better idea, that's why I like it so much when I do the limited exclusive drops, when you have that retailer that takes pre-orders, because then I make the number that's necessary to make, you know, but because otherwise you make this stuff and, you know, the very first year that we did Dunbarton, there were 70 boxes.
That was it.
That was it. It was a blend that was a test prototype blend that I decided not to move forward with, you know. But now, over the years, you get a pace of how many to make.
Yeah.
And now you're making, you know, multiples of thousands of boxes of Dunbarton. But it's taken us, 6 years to kind of get an idea. And even still, Bronny's been sold out of Dunbarton forever, right? He keeps a few in reserve so he can sprinkle them into overpriced samplers, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, but the intent is not to like intentionally limit it. I mean, so getting some sort of guidance, it's very hard. You just don't know. You don't know the demand. You don't know the numbers. So we're actually asking the retailers to tell us how many holidays they think they're going to be interested, how many year of the whatevers you'd be interested in, how many of the archive release on the Todos Los Dias double wides. Because me, with no guidance from the retailers, I probably make about 2,000 boxes. 2,000 boxes I would feel safe with.
Yeah.
Right? Because it isn't like I make too many Mi Querida Ancho Largos, or I make too many Sin Compromiso number 5s, or too many Sobremesa Salida Toros. Because if I don't sell as much as I make, I just slow down production on that. I work through the inventory. But when you're doing these unique, exclusive kind of projects, it's not the same. What if I had made 6,000 boxes a year at Duque and I only sold 1,500 boxes?
Yeah.
Well, look, I have the next year rolling around. What do I do with the other 4,500 boxes, right? So I'm having to make an educated guess. But the reality is, it's not that I want the money. Now, there's some things that are truly like really limited by tobacco. The word of Saka that we're doing for the sample.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Everybody wants to know.
All right. Well, the thing is, with the word of Saka, I only have enough filler that's ready to go this year to make, I say 5,000. Might end up being 5,200, might be 5,600 cigars, but I don't know the exact number. I know 5,000 is a safe number.
Yeah.
Right? Next year, I'll be able to make more. I'm working on the tobacco for it. It'll be ready, but I only have 5,000. What do you do with 5,000? I don't want to waste it as an exclusive for one retailer.
Yeah.
You know, because it's too good a blend.
Abe would go through that
Right.
in a way.
You're right, exactly. It wouldn't even last an hour.
Yeah.
So I take the 5,000 rough cigars I have and I do it in the deep cut sampler. So that's a way that, you know, not only can I sell a bunch of other cigars, it also gives a way that everybody has a fair chance at trying one. So, but next year I'll be able to make more word of Sakas.
Now, what's the blend on that one?
We're not talking about.
I'm not talking about it yet. Okay.
Yeah. Well, when we get closer to when it's being delivered, we'll do the.
We got to talk about the Lanceros sampler soon as well. You said, you know, like the.
What date is that?
I don't know. You haven't set anything up yet.
No, I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I said what date I was gonna disclose the.
Oh, okay.
The Lanceros. I can't remember what day it is though. Let's see if we can find it. I was thinking it was like, is it in April or is it in May?
6 months ago, you said like April or May. So,
all right. I actually listed.
Oh, okay. I
listed its date, but now I can't find it.
You post a lot, so I must.
I post a lot. I must remember all the crap I write.
I'll get with Jelly and have her find it.
April 27th, April 28th.
Oh, okay.
So right around the tail end of April, I'll do the disclosure on the Lancero for everybody. And so that way they'll know. I just want to allow enough time for everyone to smoke it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there are a lot of people that haven't smoked they're good for you samples yet.
It's hoarding it. They're saving it, just, that's what it is.
So
Next up, we got the 10th Jubilee.
yeah, that's that
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful box.
It is and it isn't.
Yeah, Ronnie said he was surprised how the cigar's light.
Yeah.
It's
Here's what it is. So when I launched Dunbarton, everybody thought I would make a Liga Privada style cigar, right?
yeah,
Because that's what I was known for. And I decided to do Sobra Mesa. Medium body, nuanced, intricate, sophisticated, complex. I mean, I went in a totally different direction. Obviously, hardcore Dunbarton people, they're into, the Tricky Chaka and the Papa Sakas and, all of these fuller bodied, the Fratangos this year we're releasing. So I wanted to do something unexpected because we started the company doing something unexpected. And also, normally when you do an anniversary cigar, it's a very elaborate package.
yeah,
Okay? It's normally some sort of like crazy celebratory side, a diademus, you know what I mean? A Salomon. And I just no, that's what everybody does. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a blend out of materials that I've never used because that's the way we started the company with Sobra Mesa. I'm going to make an elegant, Epicurean, refined, balanced, nuanced, and use 6 tobaccos that I have never used in any blend. Total ground up. It's not like anything we've ever made before. And I don't know how customers are going to feel about it, but it's really representative of us as a company for the 10th year anniversary. It's really kind of like, this is what we did 10 years ago. And you know what? That's how we're going to celebrate our 10th year. We're going to celebrate our success doing what we first did. And so, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to make it in a little bit understated packaging. I'm going to make it in a size that isn't necessarily the size you would think of as an anniversary cigar. I'm going to make it in a 5 5/8 by 48 because it just feels right to me.
yeah.
It seems like that. It seems like a good reflection of who we are as a company, And look, if you want that super heavy barn burner,
Yep.
you're gonna have word of a Saka.
Yep.
Right. You're gonna have Fratanga to smoke. You're gonna have these other cigars. I like if we have an exclusive that's coming out later in the year, Kanalam. That's a potent powerhouse, beautiful cigar. So I wanted to make something that was very unique, very different. I don't know how the hardcore Dunbarton people are going to feel about it, but I know for me it feels right. So that's what I decided.
Sounds like cause I'm still a Sobra Mesa, El Americano. No, I love Sobra Mesa. That's what I smoke. Constantly.
So it does not even call El Americano anymore.
Yep. No.
Solita Toro name.
That's it. It'll always be El Americano to me. Last one up. The Stillwell Star. What do we got? What do we got planned for this year?
So this year we're doing a different format. We're doing a 5 by 48.
Oh, okay.
Connecticut shade. It's kind of a precursor to what I think is going to happen in 2026. I'm going to revamp the Stillwell line.
Yeah.
Certain Stillwells sell much better than other Stillwells.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to revamp the line. And I want to offer a smaller format. So we're going to introduce the first smaller format this holiday season. It's a Connecticut shade, aromatic, 5 by 48. I really love this cigar. It's nice. In fact, of all the Stillwells we've done to date, I think this year's holiday is going to be it's personally my favorite. And I think it's going to set the tone and tenor for what I'm hoping to do in 2026. Yeah, we got a lot going on. We got the double wides coming out in the archive. We're going to have the new year of whatever for next year.
Now, is that going to be a whole new cigar or
all new?
Oh, so not a tweaked blend of
So this year, the Duque. The way it worked with Chris is Chris hasn't even smoked it yet. Nobody smoked it yet, actually, except me. I think Anna smoked some. I said, Chris, what are my favorite blends? He likes Sobra Mesa Short Churchill, and he likes Todos Los Dias. So the Year of the Duque is kind of a hybridization of the two. What size do you like to smoke? I like to smoke that short Churchill size. That's what I did. So whoever the next year of, I asked them what they like. So I'm making a blend, not the same blend as we've made in the past, but you know, let's say for example, they said, oh, my favorite is Tricky Traca 648, a 648 format. I'm going to make something that I think is going to really sing to them. So, but I don't even know when we'll actually announce. Probably won't announce who the next year of is until probably somewhere Q4 of this year.
All right.
Yeah, so it's a fun project though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just different. Just you know, it's just something.
It's also me being a bit of a dick. You know, everybody else does the year of the rabbit, the year of the horse, the year of the whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, I understand it. But the reality is, look, I understand when Davidoff did it because Davidoff has a huge Asian market.
Yeah.
And they sell a lot of cigars into it. But then once that became popular, so many companies jumped on the whole year of concept. So I'm greedy. I want to jump on the concept too. But I want to do it in a very Dunbarton-y kind of way.
Yeah.
So doing the Year of the Duque, it just makes me smile. You know what I mean? But look, it's as beautifully packaged as any of the Year of the Dragons or Year.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely stunning.
it's gorgeous. So it's a fun little project. So I think it's we get a lot of bangers. Look, Salida Red just dropped what 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We're doing the fulfillment on that. We got the new Umbagog Bronze Back Robusto. Same shit, just a little bigger. You know, for the guy that wants a little bit more. And the 6x60, the Gorilla Gordo, for the guys that, you don't want a 60 ring gauge. It'll actually, unicorns are 60 ring gauge. Yeah. Right? But not really, because it's that kind of Diademus Perfecto shape. So it's a 60 ring gauge for about 1/4 of an inch of it, right? So we're doing a much more traditional 60, but I can grab one out of the end there. But you know, we ended up doing like a bullet head on it, so it has a better mouthfeel.
Yeah.
So it's more comfortable to smoke.
Because I do have some Mi Querida 660s that you did.
We did them a very long time ago called Puma Negra.
Yeah.
We did it as an exclusive size for CI.
And I still have like 4 or 5 left, and it's just an odd.
But I'll be honest with you, this is a much better blend than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went back to the drawing board. I mean, it's still a Mi Querida Blue,
Yeah.
but I refined it. This one turned out really, really nice.
I like the shape. If I'm gonna smoke a 60, I mean I like that. You know, just not too much.
What else we got?
And then how's you prepared for summer of Saka?
Yeah, talk to him about that.
God.
He places orders and I ship him what I can.
Yeah.
I mean, he keeps growing it every year. I mean, he's hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really hard to keep up with. I mean, we're doing the repackage. We're going to release OG unicorns again this year.
Oh, are you?
We haven't done any OG unicorns in about 2 years.
Yeah.
So for our better accounts, we're going to do the original Muestra de Saka broadleaf blend of the unicorn. So, because look, there's a lot of customers that have never even seen an original unicorn. So we got that resurfacing. We got the essential sampler, which is just our core, 7 sizes. And that's not meant for the hardcore Dunbarton people. That's meant for the person that knows nothing about Dunbarton. You know, here are our 7 core.
Yeah, I love it. You don't know anything about Dunbarton? Buy that. That's some
Pisca.
Yeah.
This is made out of my 10 favorites.
Oh, is that what this one is?
Yeah, this one's the one that is,
Okay.
this is the essential.
The essential. Okay.
Okay, all the bands are spun around because I keep lifting it up, and we took it out of cellophane, but it's the core.
Okay.
1 Brûlée, 1 Solita, 1 Sin Compromiso.
And this is the one. This is what you smoke every day. This whole pack.
People always ask, what are your favorite cigars?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. There you go.
These are my favorite cigars. These are my favorite cigars we make. From the bronze back that's a sub $10 cigar. The Werner Saka is the most expensive, but the Paladin's a $29 cigar. You know, the Brûlée Blue, the Salida Red. Look, we've made a lot of Muestras since.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had Krakatoa, and we've had Bewish. But for me, my favorite molestra to date, the one I smoked the most of, is still Naka Tamale. So that is the one I put in the pack.
Yeah, I've got
The one, you other ones, what I like.
Yeah.
In Nikkei, my favorite is the Tricky Truck or the 648. I smoke a lot of the Papa Sakas and I smoke a lot of Saka Khans. Look, I smoke a lot of Nikkei Blue.
Yeah.
But if you ask me what are these cigars I smoke the most of, that's what's in the box.
Yep.
This is what I smoke. This is exactly what I smoke.
Think buy that, feel like Steve Saka.
Because even like the Todos Los Dias, we don't make enough to sell. We did it as an archive release, but I still make Todos Los Dias Stick Lonsdales for me to smoke.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, gee. You had to put that out there, you know, and yeah.
Dude, there's got to be some perk. All right? I can't get them to whip up an extra 500 whatevers. Yeah, you know, so I think this sampler is going to be, it's going to be, but it's stupid. I mean, most people, when they make samplers of stuff that's like slow sellers. Yeah, they make stuff they have extra inventory of. They make stuff that they're having problems selling. Backordered on Bronzeback, backordered on Nikkei Rita Black. Fratango's brand new. Nobody even knows what it tastes like. Solita Red we're behind on. Blue we've been perpetually behind on. Todos Los Dias we make intermittently. You know what I mean? We got a Paladin to Saka. You got a Saka Khan. You got a Word of Saka. So we stacked the sampler with what I genuinely think, in my opinion, are our 11 best cigars, one of which no one's ever tasted before, you know? And because, you know, it's meant for the hardcore Dunbarton people. That's what that sampler's meant for. I'll be very interested to see what the numbers are.
Yeah.
At the end of the trade show. I don't know. But and that way it makes it easy, too. When people ask, what are your favorite cigars? I say, well, just buy the deep cut sample.
That's it. You'd be good to go.
Or be done with it.
Yeah.
Stop asking me the question. It's written on the back of the box. You can figure out what my favorite are. Yeah.
Now they're going to ask you your favorite. I need to know in order, you know, throughout the day. I'm going to need you to break it down. And so they'll still have questions.
Any one was perfect for any time of the day.
Yeah.
But it's an expensive sampler.
Yeah.
Because all the cigars are the regular price of what the cigar really costs.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's probably the biggest sampler out there. Like nobody's doing a sampler that size.
Again,
You know, yeah.
why do what everybody else does?
Yes, that's it. So, all right, Steve. Always a pleasure.
Great, man.